I'm Alex Dykes, and today we're inside a 2014 Honda Accord Hybrid taking a look at the two-screen infotainment system in our touring model. We have an 8-inch high-resolution non-touchscreen right here, and then we have a smaller touchscreen interface right here lower in the dashboard. We also have a command knob and series of physical buttons down lower in the dashboard. We'll post a little picture here so you can see what those look like. That module of buttons right down there controls this screen more or less up here, and this screen integrates with it but is primarily an audio function screen. The system struck me as a little bit half-baked when I first saw it, but it's grown a little bit on me. I still wish this screen did a little bit more, so let's go through the system functions so we can see why. You can access the system's different pages by either clicking the button on the steering wheel, which cycles you through the screens as you can see right there, or you can hit the direct access buttons on the bottom. Let's first take a look at the phone interface. The phone interface uses both screens, uses the upper screen for call history, speed dial, etc. But if we hit the menu button down low in the dashboard, we come up with this little menu here. We can rotate around, we can see call history, phone book, etc. If we go to dial, you'll see that this small screen now becomes a dial pad, and then we have a send button. You can also use the rotary knob to dial using that screen up top as well. If we go over to the info screen, this is where we have our vehicle energy screen, shows you what the engine and battery are doing in the system. You can also see your historic trip computer information right there. So our current trip was 103 miles, our previous trip was 43 miles per gallon. History of trip rate, if we had reset it, you can see over 582 miles have averaged 46.6 miles per gallon, which is excellent in this car. If you go back to the info screen, you can also see what our voice info commands are, and it'll give you a brief rundown of how to use those voice commands in the system. Traffic incidents, and we have a calendar and of course clock and wallpaper. Clicking over to the audio screen, we do have a full-featured Bluetooth interface right here. You can see we can browse our playlist on the Bluetooth device that we're currently connected to. You can also go forward and backward, pause and play using this touch screen right here. You can also change the source using the touch screen rather than that interface up there, AM, FM, built-in hard drive, XM satellite radio, single slot CD player right there, and our iPod and Bluetooth interfaces down below. If we click over to the iPod interface, we get a little bit more information depending on the track that we're on. So we're going to click over and we're going to use this interface up there to change to a different playlist. We'll take a look at our most recent songs here and see what we have. See, scrolling down the list is fairly quick. It's not too hard to navigate this interface. And if we choose a new tune, and then you can see we have a little album art icon right there, and album art right there in that upper screen as well. If we click right here, we can change albums in this system, which does seem a little bit strange to me. You can't really use this screen to browse your playlists or anything else. All we have are albums right there and track forward backward. If we hit the more button, you can directly go to sound settings. This is a duplicate interface of what you'll find up there. If we hit the menu button up there, settings up there, we can hit audio settings and then sound, and you'll see we have the bass and treble there as well as there. I do find this interface easier to use than that one up top because you can stab the option you're looking for rather than rotating a little knob. In most of these screens, we also have access to search our database, and this can be done either with voice commands, the touch screen right here, or that rotary knob up there. Almost anything that you see on the screen up top can be voice commanded in the system. However, the voice commands do get a little bit laborious over time. Let's go over to the Nav interface so we'll show you what I mean by that. So if we're on the Nav interface and I hit the voice command button,
after the beep, say phone call, music search, voice.
We can interrupt at any time by hitting the button. Address.
Press the talk button to select. After the beep, say number.
City.
Press the talk button after the beep.
Burlingame.
5. Matches. After the beep, say
1.
Press the talk button after the beep.
Main.
12. Matches were found. Press the talk button to select the correct street.
As you can see in this system, navigating those voice commands is a bit more laborious than other systems, where you simply press the button and you can say a simple natural voice command like navigate me to 123 Bain Street, Burlingame, California. It's a lot easier to use that sort of system than to use this system. However, this system does allow you to enter the address while you're navigating. It is also very logical. It just takes a bit more time than you might expect. You can also enter addresses manually if you're parked, and entering addresses manually is made easier in this two-screen arrangement than it was in previous Honda systems before, because you now have a keyboard on this touchscreen right here. So now we can use this touchscreen to enter in a city, for instance. And then once we have those settings, this goes back to the audio screen, and then this screen appears where you'll find your input. So you hit San Jose, which is what we were after. And then now the screen once again changes to a keyboard, and now we can enter the street name. And of course up there now we have that interface again. Then once again we go back down here, and this doesn't give us a dedicated number entry screen. It gives us a keyboard with just numbers right up there on the top. So we can use this interface for entering an address. And then as you can see, now we have this set as destination right up there at the top. And you can begin using voice commands at any time. So you can click that little button and you can say set as destination. And there we got calculating a route. And you also get the duplicated turn-by-turn directions right there in that LCD in the middle of your speedometer. Over on the settings interface, we have access to our Navi settings, phone settings, info settings, vehicle settings, camera settings, etc. And the system does integrate with the Lanewatch system as part of the Honda Accord here. Most Honda Accord models will have this Lanewatch system. There's a small camera over there on that rearview mirror on the side of the car, and you can see that will display at any time by hitting the button on the turn signal stalk. You can turn it on and off that way, and it turns on automatically when you turn the turn signal on. Compared to other systems out on the market, I give this system an 8 out of 10, and I rank it just below my Ford Touch. My Ford Touch is an awful lot more picky. It does seem to crash more often, and it is more sluggish than this system, but I do find its natural voice commands easier to use, and the system overall is a bit more logically laid out than this system. I think that Honda still has a bit of R&D work to do to integrate this screen and this screen a little bit better with one another than I have seen in this system. Still, overall, I would rather have this than the single screen system that you'll find in the current generation Toyota Camry, or the slightly older Yuvo system that you'll find in the Hyundai Sonata, as well as the Kia Optima. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to know more about the 2014 Honda Accord Hybrid, then go ahead and click that link at the bottom of your screen to be taken on over to our full review of the Honda Accord Hybrid.